Everybody, I'm here with the miserable liberal and Ron Placone.
Howdy, howdy.
And, right now, whatever you're listening or watching this on is being tapped. So, just so you know, okay, they have your cell phones and your screens and your things and your texts and your even your Twitters. They got them. This is the UN Human Rights Council. They did a report. It's a report of the special rapporteur. How do you even say that word? Do you know what that word is? Rapporteur? On the right to privacy. Is anyone else?
Well, I mean, rapport, but rapporteur, that doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right?
No, it sounds weird.
I don't know what that is.
It sounds so French. Special rapporteur.
No, you both have your master's degrees. I don't. So
I'm an MWM.
She's a Mexican with a master's. So that report is one of the more critical analysis in recent years on the global surveillance apparatus, which was in part disclosed by documents leaked by Edward Snowden. That report by the UN, those documents, the Edward Snowden documents, put a spotlight on domestic international monitoring of calls, messages, and the hacking capabilities of the U.S. National Security Agency and other members of the so-called Five Eyes Alliance of Nations. So, they've been doing some so we're in a surveillance state or surveillance world. But at least it keeps us safe, right? I mean, what did that report find out? Well, turns out that report, UN Privacy Watchdog, says little or no evidence that mass surveillance works.
Whoopsies.
You mean trampling on the Constitution and wiping it with your fascist ass doesn't make us safer? Well, you're still going to keep doing it, though, right? I mean, they're not going to stop doing it. I mean, just because it doesn't work doesn't mean they're going to stop doing it, because I bet that fighting terrorism isn't the real reason they're doing it. So the person who did the report was Professor Joseph Caratacci, the first privacy watchdog to take up the post. He said he was neither convinced of the effectiveness or the proportionality of some of the extremely privacy intrusive measures that have been introduced by new surveillance laws. So this guy, not convinced of its effectiveness or its proportionality, meaning, hey, you guys are going way overboard and it's not even working. You guys are obliterating what we consider to be a society's privacy. You're obliterating it. Now we live in a surveillance state. And I love that Chris Hedges said, that when they have the access to every email, phone call, and text you send, that is not liberty. That is more akin to a relationship between a slave owner and a slave. This is that guy from the UN ski. This would not only be of great intrinsic value to citizens worldwide, but would also send a clear signal to those states, democracies, and pseudo-democracies.
That's us.
And otherwise, who mistakenly believe that the best way to deal with cyberspace is to claim sovereignty over chunks of the internet or what its citizens get up to on the internet. Or what its citizens get up to on the internet, he said. That's a weird way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
What they're up to, I think is what he means. But he said get. Or what its citizens are up to on the internet. Get up to. That must be maybe a foreign phrase, the way they say it. Anyway.
It's like a rapporteur of words.
Is this professor a millennial? Because he sounds like he's really on the wrong side of this.
Oh, that's right. I thought it was the millennials who had they culturally they don't have the same view as privacy, transparency, and secrets and stuff like that. As the older people, like the people from the 70s.
We don't know anything about loyalty either.
Lordy. So I love how he says that. Otherwise, who mistakenly believe that the best way to deal with cyberspace is to claim sovereignty over chunks of the internet or what its citizens are up to on the internet. Mistakenly believe the best way to deal with cyberspace.
And
that's mistaken, guess.
And when you talk about this, you can't help but wonder, going, well, if all of this, spying on, on everyone was really working, You know they would be touting how effective this is,
You know they would be.
right? It would be everywhere, but it's not.
Human rights are universal and cyber law should exist in such a way. This is from the report. This is from our, how do we say that guy? What was he?
Rapporteur?
Rapporteur?
The rapporteur.
This is from our rapporteur. I know there's a better way to say that. Human rights are universal and cyber law should exist in such a way not only to protect privacy, but also other fundamental human rights. Cyber law should exist to protect privacy and fundamental human rights. It's like the opposite of what our government says.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's it. That's that whole article on that. Turns out all that spying ski, according to the new report from the UN, is worthless. But at least we're giving up our privacy for it. At least we're giving up some of our liberty and freedom for an effort that doesn't actually do anything. Of course, we know that 9/11 happened. It wasn't because they couldn't read my emails. It wasn't because that's not why 9/11 happened. 9/11 didn't happen because they didn't tap my phone. 9/11 happened because we had a jagoff as a president who didn't read a fucking briefing that said the Al Qaeda set to. That's why. A lot of people think they purposely laid down and let them attack us so they could then use that to go set the Middle East on fire. That actually makes more sense than what the original version is. We just goofied and a bunch of guys with box cutters completely overwhelmed the United States air defense. That's what happened. That's what happened. So, and then because of that, we now live in a police state. We live in a surveillance state, a police state. And the Democrats are screaming about Russia, a country that's not communist. So fantastic. It would be nice if we had real leaders. Wouldn't it be nice instead of just tools? Anything?
I would like habeas corpus.
I would like habeas corpus back. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Whew. You're radical. You're a real fairy duster.
Well,
you think we can go back? You think we could have something as modern as the Magna Carta?
We accept the surveillance state because we're patriots. It gives us an opportunity to be patriots.
Yeah,
That's
we could
how.
be patriots by being transparent. You know, when we lead with our values and our transparency, that'll invigorate
job opportunities.
All that phone tapping, all that bullshit for naught. All that Constitution shredding. All that privacy invading for nothing. Oh, but Booz and Allen makes billions of dollars, I'm sure, surveilling us. Don't forget that. It's not for nothing. There's a lot of people making a lot of money off this. That's right. It's not. It's for something. Hey, our next show is March 20th in Burbank. It's almost sold out. Our next show after that is April 3rd in Hollywood at the Improv. Links for tickets right below.